that pretty? Ah, man. Can't wait for the day, right? Whew. Okay, so you caught me. Comp cam's there in the front. I have a Lunati cam. It's going to be the 268 duration Voodoo. I think it's a 507 lift. What is it? 489 and 507 lift, I think. Edelbrock Performer RPM heads. Now this is all flat tappet stuff. Little did I know that I could have bought the heads as a version that would have done either or, flat tappet or roller. So as I'm contemplating what to do here, you know, I could have been like, well, I could do either or. I'm stuck with flat tappet unless I want to pay the money and change out the springs, take my time to do it all. So I think I'm just going to stick with the flat tappet. I've got these lifters here. These are the GM lifters that people do talk about, the performance ones. Guys, when you're buying these lifters, and I don't care what ones you buy at least 2 boxes and hand pick them, because you're going to find dings and scratches on some of these, or maybe no crowns or whatever. But on the GM ones, I was happy to see there was crowns on every one, but I went through 3 boxes to get me 16 good ones. I know, I could have got a roller, probably, or something like that. I'm just freaking a moron. I don't know. But I returned the other 2 boxes, okay? I hand-picked the ones I wanted. And look, these things, they come in wrap, okay? And which is cool. They are wrapped. But that don't mean shit, because I think what they do is they just throw them around in barrels and stuff, you know, and then they get dinged up. And that kind of blows my mind. I mean, I'm not sure that they do that, but it seems like they do, because the crowns are there. I think the quality is there. I won't know until I install them and run them. But from what I can tell, the quality seems okay. It's just the quality control of the shipping or the storing prior to shipment. If you're gonna make a decent product, I mean, take care of it, you know? Like, what the hell? I mean, there's scratches up and down vertical, there's nicks, there's dings, there's a gouge on the edge. I mean, it would have wiped out a lobe real fast. And I don't think we want to do that, right? I mean, do the roller guys, I mean, do you ever find that you have defective parts or things that have been dinged and dented in the little wheels or on the sides or anything, or are they just perfect? I mean, it just makes out to, yeah, I mean, a roller wheel instead of a Fred Flintstone flat, you know, I get it, but how many, look, I'm not even gonna go there. All right, so whatever. The hydraulic stuff too, I mean, just because this is a flat tap, it doesn't mean that your roller doesn't have hydraulic. If you're using a hydraulic roller, you still have the hydraulics to worry about. And I've heard of rollers going bad also. So pick your poison, really. And what about those needle bearings? I mean, really, come on. One explodes. I've seen the little sway bars, they break. I guess I'm just overthinking everything. It's scary though, because you want, I don't know, you see all those parts there? I've got a lot of time invested in all of these parts. Speaking of parts, let's just turn this positive, okay? One thing does lead to another. It's kind of like for every action there is a more costly reaction. So I find out that the front drive shaft, hang on, I'll get you there. I've got to make my way here. This is the front drive shaft right here. And while I'm not sure, maybe they were loose. Yeah, they are loose a little bit. But this whole, I don't know if you can see that. Can you hear that? There's some slop there. And that's what to look for, right? I guess. So if this was a single, just a single, whatever you want to call it, with the U-joints at either end, just single U-joints. I upgraded, and check this out. I need to get my light though so you can see a little better, so bear with me. Hey, have you ever tried one of these lights? This is Stanley. Just, I don't know, it flips up like a crazy thing here. It's like an alien. Pretty cool, huh? You can have just the center, high, low, or you can, whoa, yeah, that's bright, right? Yeah, so it really lights the shit up. Okay, look at all that shine. Look at all that shine. Yeah. So anyway, let me get this down here so we can see a little better as I get rolling underneath here. Yeah. Alrighty, so I'm thinking drive shafts, right? What type? Now this is the rear. I went ahead with Adams. And for those of you that are into drive shafts or looking for drive shafts, I'm sure that you've already found Adams and Woods, Tom Woods. I talked to both, right? And I ended up going with Adams. I don't know why, it just seemed like a simpler process. You know, I had called Tom Woods' outfit, which they're grateful and nice on the phone, very experienced, but the experience of the technician, and of course, everybody has their own view, I get it, but it totally differed from what the website had already sold me on, a double cardan for my front. I could be wrong, but based on their website, it mentioned that if you combine the shaft or have a single shaft up front, which I did, I deleted, and I'll take you over here. I deleted what was on here because I didn't like it. Imagine that. I don't like shit. Okay, it had the push button linkage, right? So it would engage the four-wheel drive. Pain in the ass for me anyway. Maybe it wasn't set up right, but I could never get it. I had to like go up a little bit, get it to click in. It was a pain in the ass. Never knew if I was in four-wheel drive or not. So I just decided to delete it. So I capped it off. Now it's a single axle basically. Well, it's like 3 pieces made into 2 pieces, which is kind of 1 piece. I don't know if you know what I mean. But anyway, oh, check this out. B&M transmission pan. This is awesome. See how thick that is? And that's probably a 1/2 inch or something. I mean, it's really decent. Maybe over a 1/2 inch. But I love it. B&M. Damn, it's pretty. Anyway, okay. Going back over here to the drive shaft double cardan. And I think this Jeep has 3 inches of lift. The rear shaft probably didn't need replaced immediately, but I thought if I was doing the front, I'm going to do them both. And I can always keep the other one as a backup. And I'll show you that one too. But, come back over here. Oh, there goes my light. I'm always hitting the wrong button on this thing. That's the only problem. There we go. Got more light. Alright, so, sorry guys. I'm not a great on the roll kind of photographer here. So I usually just do my stuff and then report back to you guys a little bit. Get back under here a little bit more. Oh yeah, there she is. There's the double cardan right there. Okay, the only thing to consider, and I think what the guy was trying to tell me with Tom Woods, and he's absolutely right, it becomes a pain in the ass when you go to, well, eventually I'm going to have to grease in here. There's a Zerk in here, a little flat one, and it's going to be very difficult to do with it mounted. So you probably have to unmount that thing to do it, right? Whereas what he was trying to tell me is, if you don't need it, don't do it. And I totally understand that. But since I linked the axles together, the axle is basically one. It will always be turning both sides. Otherwise, it's only one side that turns. It's the driver's side, if it's not linked. Okay, so by doing that, they recommended a larger drive shaft, something more, you know, heavy duty. So I just kind of sold myself on it. So that's what I did. I wanted something that was a little bit stronger. And I'm telling you what, when you look at that drive shaft, I mean, that's got some, well, that's a shaft. I mean, that's pretty damn cool. That's like, at least, I think it's a 2-inch pipe. It's basically what this is. It's 2-inch, right? Whereas the original was only maybe 1.5 inches. Big difference, big difference. That's all I can say. But I'm getting there, and as you can see, don't have the oil pan on here yet. I can kind of wait until I get some of this other mix master done, and then I will mount the oil pan up, which is a rockin' oil pan. It's not the biggest pan. I think you could probably get like 8 quarts, 8.5 quarts or something like that. But I do have, this is a 6-quart Canton, and it rocks some baffles. Sorry, using both hands here. It's got baffles and a crank scrape in there. Is all that shit needed? I don't know. Probably not. It just sounded good. Okay, so that's what's going into this baby. Right here, pretty solid. And this is the old drive shaft. Like I said, it would probably do okay, but before I would have wanted to do the U-joints. And honestly, I just don't have the time. I'm trying to skip a few things so I can get this thing out on the road. My original date of finish was hopefully going to be spring. Didn't make it. So I'm not sure. I'm hoping for fall. So the next step is going to be, once I get the oil pan on and tidy up the drive shaft, I still need to take the bolts out of the retaining. Actually, if you're not familiar, when you replace one of these things, you have a strap on either side there that holds it in. You can also get, and they say it's stronger, the U-joint, like a U bracket, and kind of goes around the whole thing and then bolts from the back. I just trying to keep it simple, stupid. I'm not going to be doing any off-roading anytime soon. This is more going to be a car show kind of guy, and I think I'm going to be fine. But I do need to take the bolts back out, and here's another one. There's always something, whether it's the head bolts and what kind of sealant to use, which I have an update on that. If you've seen any of my past videos, I had talked about what might be stronger and what might not be as strong. Well, they all did pretty well, actually. But now the debate is red or blue. Do I use red or blue? The shafts came with red, but then I hear you'll never get the bolts out. And they're such tiny little headed bolts, you'll strip them. What the hell? What are you supposed to do? Then you hear, oh, use medium, use the blue, right? Because you can then take them back out. Shit. If it's that vibrating down there, I guess I'm gonna run with the manufacturer. Their recommendation would be red. My only concern is, am I gonna get the bolts back out? Because I'm gonna have to get up there and grease. And if I can't get up there and grease, because I can't get the bolts out, what do you do? So think about that, guys, before you put a drive shaft in. Man, it is freaking hot out here. Whew, sorry about that. Feel like, yeah. Makeup. Where's makeup, hair, everything? Having an ant problem right now, too. I'm telling you, in the last few nights, I have killed 1,000 ants in here. And I've gone out and gotten some good stuff, but they're still coming back. And you kill one, they send messages out for all their friends. So I'm probably doing it wrong, too. Everything I do wrong. At least that's what I'm always told. So there you go. It's looking good. Looking real good. I love that drive shaft. If you are considering a drive shaft, please look at Tom Woods and Adams. Probably the top two. I'm guessing the top two. There's probably others, but those were the two that kept coming up when I was Googling around. So I felt pretty comfortable with Adams after talking to them. Got free t-shirts. Pretty awesome stuff. And you know, I am not a sponsor, or they don't sponsor me. I'm just a little guy. Okay, so I have no, wow, what the hell is that bug? Damn. What the? Look at that guy. Holy crap. Put the readers on so you guys can really check him out. Look at that. Yeah. Anyhow. Oh, another thing. Don't know what your all's take is on oil pumps, but let me get my light here again. A little bit more light on it. I decided to go with the Shark pump. This Shark, it's by Melling, and I don't know, it's supposed to be 20% more powerful or something. That's probably a bad thing because it's probably gonna blow my motor. But hey, it sounded good. So one cool thing is though, this is their, shit, I did it again with my light. This is what they call their select category of pumps, and it's pretty cool because if I wanted to change the pressure spring, it would be right in here with an Allen wrench. I just take that cap off and pop the spring out and put the other one in. Whereas if you went to a standard type Melling pump, which would be this guy, and I'm sure all of you guys know this, but it's for the ones that, whoops, sorry, I know this camera's going everywhere. The spring is harder to get to. There's a pin you have to take the bottom off. You have to unbolt the bottom, all 4 bolts, take it off. And if you already have like some kind of contraption on there bolted to it, I mean, you're just going to tear everything apart. And then pop that pin out. And then it's not rocket science, but it just saves a little bit of time, I guess. This Select Series type, I like it. Anything to save me time usually costs me more money, but in the end, if it works, maybe it was worth it. If it doesn't and it blows up, I'm still considering pulling out the original spring and going to a lesser pressure, because this is a high pressure. The Shark oil pumps are high pressure, high volume. I was only really going for a high volume. And if you do go with one of these other style pumps, standard type pump, this was a high volume milling, but it came factory with the pickup already welded on, which was cool. I was going to use it, but then I changed my plans with the oil pan. I had a standard 5-quart aluminum pan, and I just, don't buy it. Here's one thing that I'm learning with this stuff, okay? I mean, I have worked on cars for years and years. I have saved myself a shit ton of money fixing our cars. But when you're building an engine or rebuilding or just going through and putting freshen up stuff, don't buy the parts so far ahead, because when you do that, you end up buying parts 2 and 3 times, because shit, you might not like that oil pan, or you're going to go with a higher volume pump. Maybe it requires 6 or 7 quarts versus 5 quarts. You know, there's just all kinds of things to consider. The pans are deeper. That oil pump was designed for 7.5-inch pan. I needed an 8-inch, version. So that's why I bought the Shark Tooth and bought Canton. This is a Canton oil pan. And then I bought their pickup. It had to be a high performance style pickup, which is one of these little guys right here, the square. If you can see that, hope you can see that. And it had to go straight down, because there was no way the standard one with the standard pickup was going to fit inside that cavity there because of all the baffles. It just wouldn't work. So I'm like, shit. So just be careful, or you're going to end up with 2 and 3 oil. I've got 2 oil pumps over here, essentially brand new, and can't use them because I was an idiot, right? Probably just an idiot all the way around, because I went through this thing and I'm just pitching parts. So if any guys need anything, let me know. Probably have it. Or I will have one for you soon, because I'm an idiot. But I'm having fun. I feel like freaking Elvis Presley. But I'm not. It's like 90 degrees outside. In Ohio, no less. Crazy. But this is my 1990 Jeep YJ. As you can see, it's got a custom paint job. When I bought this thing, they told me that, man, this thing has been rebuilt from ground up. And yeah, I think it was, because it had a lot of, like new shit on it that you could tell was new, but it'd been around maybe 5-10 years. They told me 5 years. And maybe, but there was so much grime and leaks, and spark plug wires were frayed and burnt. Oh my God, there was a lot of shit that needed cleaned up. And just one thing led to another. Every reaction or action, turns out to be a costly reaction. Might have already said that, but it's true. So if I want to change one part, it might change the whole scheme of things, because it fits differently. I still don't know, with that bigger shaft, the circumference of it, if I'm going to have to make a modification to the skid plate. Skid plate has a longer standoff on the back than it does on the front. So I may have to go to both of the same size. I don't know yet. And those are the things that you're going to have to work around. If you do run into it, I'll have to make that change on the fly. So, and that thing's heavy. So you have to put that freaking thing in. And guys, if you've never done a drive shaft before, and you say, oh yeah, I'm going to take that skid plate off because I got to get to the front shaft. Wow, I had no idea, because I hadn't done one before. When you loosen up those bolts, guess what? The whole freaking transmission will fall out. So you need to support that sucker, right? Support it. Watch a YouTube video. And because as you can see, I have 2 supports back here. I've got it lined up as evenly as I could get it to where it would be sitting. Let me get the light again. These are the supports for the transmission right there. There was rubber grommets there. So I jacked it up about yay high where I think the stance would be. And so I got everything leveled out. But guess what? The fun part's going to be putting the skid plate back on. I'm telling you, think this stuff through. A lot of us are those DIY kind of guys. But like I said, I've been working on cars for years. I learned from my dad a lot. And you know, but these YouTube videos do come in handy as hell, because all the information that's out there from guys like you and me that have been doing this stuff and running into these things, I love it. So I'm just trying to give back a little bit, even though mine is all second, third, fourth hand from maybe you guys watching this, and I appreciate that. But I'm learning. I'm doing things that I've never done. You know, I'm usually a brakes kind of guy, troubleshooter. I troubleshoot everything. Oh my God, and I overthink things. That's why I'm still here, not completed. Let me put it this way. I had to change out the yoke for the front shaft, and it came in the kit. So, well, it didn't come with the little O-ring. There's a little rubber star O-ring. I don't think I have the old one. But I sat there and contemplated, how do I get that on the shaft correctly so that I can line it up when I put the yoke on? Oh my God. I thought about that for a week. I wasted a week. And that's not the only thing. I mean, there's been a ton of shit. That's why it's taking me 1.5 years to get this far. But basically, you slip that little rubber, you slip the rubber on, right? You slip that little star rubber down the shaft into the little depressed area. Usually you do get depressed if you're wearing a rubber. I get it. I understand. So it's quite natural feeling. But anyway, you got it lined up and everything. And then I went with the yoke, and guess what? The yoke slipped right over it, just like butter. I mean, it was perfect. And then I looked down after it was installed. It was flush. It was perfect. And then you put that nut on right over the shaft. And then you got to take that sucker all the way down in there, and it's going to take a while. So you might think that, holy crap, this cardan is not going to work. The shaft or the nut is so far out, but just keep cranking it. That nut recesses all the way into the yoke, okay, with the rubber on. But it does, and it gives you just enough space. Because when I got the kit from Adams, I wrote them and I said, I don't think this is going to work. I said, did you guys send me the right yoke? And then they wrote me back, no, it is the exact yoke. I sent them pictures because this one was smaller. This yoke was smaller than the original one. And it did not look like the shaft. The shaft looked like it was too long. Okay, imagine having that trouble. But I thought I did have that trouble. But they assured me, nope, it will work. So then I got to go in with this thing, put it on, got the rubber seal installed perfectly, and started putting the nut on. And I'm like, oh crap, the nut sticks out too far. I never thought about that. No, just keep cranking it, crank it all the way down, and then put that 140 pounds of torque on it or whatever, and then call it a day and fucking put the yoke on and walk out. Drop the microphone, because baby, you did it. And anyway, it's probably harder to do a U-joint than it is to just put a whole new shaft in. So guys, this is the easy way out, right? Just trying to save some time, spend a few extra bucks. But in the end, I wanted new stuff anyway. I wanted new shafts, because this is a rockin' Jeep, man. I mean, this custom paint job, I was told it cost probably $5,000-$6,000 for it. So I'm trying to do it justice. The frame is perfect, no rust. So they did go through this. I do have some parts up front in the suspension I'm gonna have to ditch and start over with. Some of them they're worn, don't know how. Only have about 1,000 miles on it, they told me when I picked it up, so who the hell knows. I'm gonna have to change out the steering shaft. A lot of play there. It's just, you can see right here, right there, it's just loose, right? So there's also a kit. I thought, oh crap, it's loosey-goosey up here at the top too, but actually there's a kit that you can buy, a seal kit or bearing kit or something like that. I'm going to investigate that, and I'm just going to switch that out, switch out the shaft, and should be golden. Should be golden, right? But again, every action can cause a reaction, and I just hope that it's a favorable one. As far as the guts of this motor, as I've mentioned before, probably not that you've seen all my videos, but maybe you can go back, look at a few. I do have a Comp Cam's timing chain cover. I've got a Cloy's regular timing chain underneath that. The beauty of this is it's a 3-piece, so it's perfectly flat against here, and then these top and bottom can come off, so you can change out that camshaft when you wipe a lobe. And better not. But I did go with the Lunati cam. It's the 507, and maybe, did I say that at the beginning of the video? Maybe I did. But anyway, I'm gonna try it. Flat tap, it's GM lifters, and the Voodoo camshaft is gonna rock this house. I hope. This Jeep was originally built for speed, so I'm running that it does have a higher stall. Don't know that for 100%, but I'm gonna try it out anyway. Not gonna drop the motor or the transmission. I think it had a 450 lift, 460, I don't know, something like that. I measured it out. So I'm a little bit more than that, but not a lot. So I'm hopeful that this will work out on this new cam and new items. And like I said, just gonna run with the flat tap it. Gonna save a few bucks, hopefully not ruin the motor and have to go and spend more money. But you know, we're just gonna run with this. We're gonna run with it, and we are going to win. But again, those of you looking for drive shafts, just it's a thing of beauty, right? Bigger is definitely better, unless you're the one with the little one, and you just gotta pretend that it's better. But hey, this is pretty cool stuff, and enjoying it a lot, and we'll hopefully post more videos here as I progress. Hopefully I do progress. Don't know why this is here though. This is kind of creepy. I mean, I get the Taz thing, but I bought it anyway, and I really don't know this guy. Whoever did this paint job, no ducks, couple Taz. The inside here, give you a quick tour on the inside. It has one of those digital dashboards. It needs a little clean up in here, but it has a digital dashboard. So they changed that out. Got some funky gear shifting thing going on here. Needs a little cleanup in here, but check out those seat covers, man. They came with it. Thing of beauty. Yeah, it's a little weird with the dash being a digital dashboard. I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but when I bought it, they told me that basically, well, it's a digital dashboard. It's pretty cool, but it was designed for a 6-cylinder, and this is an 8. So your readings might be a little bit off, your speed and everything else. Well, of course, tire size, I think, determines your speed. So I don't know if that's going to really be off if they didn't calibrate for it. I don't know. Don't know. Cross that bridge when I get there. But the tack, that kind of scares me because we got to keep it up above 2,000 when we do the braking. So I'm going to add a separate tack on there and make sure I have good running numbers as we break this sucker in. But, and of course, I'm not going to put anything back together on the sides here. I took everything off so I could get to the motor. And we're just going to run the motor, get it broken in. That's the test stand. All right, I talked your heads off here. So we'll see what happens, and I will post more later. Have a great one.